Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for waiting and jumping on this call for with us. My name is Paulette, and I'm so excited that you're here because we have a special guest, Dr. Sallie Stone, and she's an established leader with a solid reputation for supporting the underserved and the underrepresented, the small businesses, the entrepreneurs. Yes, you. She has a reputation for supporting you because she operates from a personal belief that there is enough for everyone to thrive, not just survive, but thrive. That's who will be on the show today. So come in, and as I always say, please invite a friend. I would like for you to invite a friend or two or three or four or five, right? We will wait for you. If you don't know how to do that, those of you on Facebook, just go ahead and tag that person in the comment. They'll see the live. If you're on YouTube, you copy and paste the link and it will go directly to them. But I'm excited that you're here because I'll tell you why this show is so special to me. Dr. Stone is the founder and CEO of The Well. The well is just a general term, something that I am familiar with. It's like a gathering hole. It's a water supply. It's like a lifeline for community and for animals. If you know, I am from an island that practice African tradition. Um, Even now, but we practice African tradition. So when I think about the well, I think about what we did growing up. I thought about, when I thought about bringing her on, I said I have to mention the well. I have to mention how we grew up. And in my community, there were multiple wells, and we would go in the afternoon to get fresh water. The island is just the water is always salt and brackish coming from the pump, right, that came into your home. So if you wanted that fresh spring water, we had to go down the road, down the hill or over the hill to the well. And I tell you what, at the well, there were always people gathering. Now, I didn't have to go to the well, honestly, because we had a cistern in our home, in our yard. But I love going to the well because everybody was at one of the wells. And there was a well directly in front of my favorite auntie's home. I would go there, and you're supposed to get your water and go back home. But did I do that? No, I didn't. I went there and I chat with everybody, and we hung out at the well. So the concept she has in Lakeland is as such, where you come and you gather and you collaborate and you celebrate. And I'm gonna let her tell you about that. But come on in. If you're here, let me know where you're from. Say hello to us. Say hello to Dr. Stone because she'll be coming on very soon. Please invite someone. We have such wealth to share today. We're going to talk about how this amazing woman of God worked with local government, municipalities to create and build something, her dream, I should say, coming from the school system and building a dream that now drives an entire community that has helped small businesses, entrepreneurs like me. I've been to many, many, many functions at the well, and I promise you, collaboration is key. They collaborate, they celebrate, they create. We just created something a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago, and we were able to collaborate, create and collaborate at the well. So it all began at the well. So thank you so much for joining us. Again, let me know where you are, where you're checking in from. I have friends from the Bahamas and different places around the country. I wanted to invite them because what she's doing in Lakeland, you can do in your city. She will share some tips on how you too can work with local government or just how to create a dream. How to create something from a dream. We're going to talk about the transition. She used to be a principal of a school, now small business owner of multiple businesses. We'll talk about that. Now, are you ready to meet? Oh, I'm sweating. I forgot to get my fan, y'all. I moved from one room to the next. But we're about to meet Dr. Sallie Stone. Let me tell you a little bit about this amazing woman of God. Dr. Sallie Stone is a consummate professional with over 25 years experience as a seasoned administrator across multiple platforms, education, leadership, and management. She is the founder and CEO of The Well, She owns Well Done Development LLC, and Well Done Event, which provides multimedia production services, and Well Inc., providing a full scale printing, promotional, and branding solution. She is also the president of Compass Smart Solution LLC, providing consultation, professional training, coaching, and motivational speaking for diverse groups around custom themes. Like I said, her personal mantra, which I love, is that success. A personal mantra is that I believe that the fire inside of me burns brighter than the fire around me. That's just amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Roll With It show, Dr. Sallie Stone. Dr. Stone, I'm so excited to have you here today.
Thank you so much. It is a pleasure to be here, and I could not be more ecstatic about the opportunity to engage with you, my friend. It has always been an exciting venture in so many ways when we come together to connect and collaborate, create and celebrate. So this has been something that I have been looking forward to for quite a while. And again, I certainly give you your props and your kudos for what you've been able to do. I love your platform. I love the energy. And I simply love how you've been able to create such a successful business in helping people to connect and come together to achieve their dreams. I mean, you have done a phenomenal job, and that is only the beginning. There is greater to come. So, I don't know what anyone else was expecting, but I can already feel the energy between us and so that's what it's all about. So let's get to it because this is exciting.
All right, all right. Let's get to it. I see Dimitri is on here. He's a local business owner. I want to say hello to Dimitri. I love because I want him to connect with you, Dr. Sallie. So I send a personal invitation today. I'm like, you don't want to miss this. You don't want to miss this. So thank you for hopping on. If you are here, this is what he says. He's excited. He's excited. So we're excited to have you. If you're on, please say hello to us. We want to know that you're here because we do want to connect. We do want to collaborate, create, and celebrate with Dr. Stone. Now, I'll start with the why. Dr. Stone, please tell us about the transition from being, I know that you were principal of a school here in Lakeland, and now you are the owner, the founder, operator, CEO of multiple businesses. Tell us about that transition. Like what brought you, what's your why to be here now serving others?
Well, it really is not hard to tell the story. I like to say that in all of the things that I have been able to do and think about as I look back and reflect, I have to say it was a divine appointment. We sometimes are not certain where our paths are going to take us, but I was operating and functioning quite well, quite happy as a administrator at the college level over a collegiate high school dual enrollment program, and had the fortune in my career to actually start a charter school with a grant from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and a startup grant for charter school. And so what I was able to do there, it allowed me to see that there are so many ways forward. The potential is limitless when you are working with young people and young adults and even adults that are thirsty, if you will, for pursuing their goals and objectives. And so I have to just admit that I am an unintended entrepreneur. And I say
Oh,
unintended because that was not what I thought I was going to be. But as a
right,
woman of God, you know as well as I do that God's plans for us are yay and amen.
right,
And I
right.
believe that
Yes.
God wanted me to pursue this avenue in the underserved, underrepresented. The second charter school, the one that I started, was specifically around underserved students, many of which had not access to what they needed. And when you think about it, if you parlay that fast forward into the future, that when I
Mhm.
was able to shift and to pivot, because sometimes we don't often want to move, we get really comfortable. I
Right.
love education, and I'm fortunate to still be able to interact in that arena. However, God had a plan for me, and so when I said yes, He began to open up doors in the community so that I can see. And here is an interesting point, that many of the same young people, students, if you will, lifelong learners, that need that extra level of support, not because they are not able, they don't have the gift and the talent, but they need access. They
Right.
need an
Right.
opportunity, a platform. And so it's really very similar to take those skill sets and those goals that exist in the educational arena for young people who are looking to maximize their skills and their gifts and their talents that God have given them. It's very much like an entrepreneur or an adult that is doing the same thing. So it wasn't a hard shift. It was just
Okay.
one that I myself did not think that I was going to be doing.
Gotta trust God, right?
Oh,
God has
yes.
a plan. God,
Yes,
God
he
has a
does.
plan.
Yes, he
If
does.
you are just hopping on, we want to say thank you so much for just jumping on the Roll With It podcast. I'm excited that you're here. I don't take for granted that you would take 30, 45 minutes out of your precious Thursday evening to listen to what we have to say, and not me, but the guests. But I promise you this will add value to your life. The people that are on this podcast will add value to your life personally, whether it's ministry or in finance. We try to bring people on from the community, right? We're local right now, but who knows? We might be bringing some national
I
people
hear
on.
it. Let's go. Let's go.
Yes, I'm believing it. But the people in our community, they're doing worldwide, they're doing national things. Dr. Sallie has been somebody that I've admired. I am new to Lakeland, kind of sort of like living here, but I would come here and have always been told, connect with Dr. Sallie Stone, connect with, we got to give him kudos too, Mario Stone, her
Yes,
husband. They do
absolutely.
this thing. Yeah. We have to say thank you, Mario, because they do this thing together. And I've always been told. So we are on our big stage in Lakeland doing things. Lakeland is the fastest growing county
Yes.
in the United States. And I promise you, Dr. Stone is ahead of that game because she has the wealth. She's like, things are in place for her. She's worked out the kinks. She's worked with government. She's worked with the municipality. She's worked in education. She's working with small businesses. I know because she has been a blessing to me and the vision that I have and connecting me with people, right? Having a small business expo here in Lakeland. She is doing her thing. Let me ask you a bit about that, Dr. Stone. So, my phone keeps timing out, right? So please tell us, let the listeners know how you got connected with local government, because I think that was the first thing I heard about you when I got here. Well, Dr. Stone is doing this, if you're going to open a business, you want to connect with the well. And it wasn't even built yet, right? So how did you connect with local government to bring your dream to life? And I understand that the CRA had support you with constructing the well. And I would like to hear the backstory, let the listeners know a little bit of about what God has done. We got to give him glory, what God has
Mm.
done with you and the well.
Definitely so. And I am so inspired by your opening comments. And you did such a wonderful job in talking about the well and the concept of the well, and that it brings people together. It's a gathering place.
Yes,
It's a place where people meet up when they're thirsty and when they want to find a way to connect with others who have similar goals and opportunities. And so I began to look at the landscape and what was happening in Lakeland, and even before Lakeland has morphed and evolved into this metropolis of opportunity and one of the fastest growing cities, and
yes,
bringing opportunities and diversity and all of those things to the forefront for those who are looking for that opportunity. I really, when I left the brick and mortar, as we said, God really spoke to my heart and said, go back to your first love. And for those that know me, know that is the field of journalism and broadcasting. I graduated from the University of
okay.
North Carolina. Go Tar Heels! I got to get it in there, with a degree in journalism. Absolutely. And people
Right,
are
right.
not impressed until they say, "Well, I went to school at Carolina during the heyday of Michael Jordan. And so then that dates me. And then people go, oh, that's pretty neat. But I left there, moved to the Washington, D.C. area, and began to get into the field. And what I began to realize is that entertainment, particularly broadcasting, is a medium whereby many people are able to tell their story. And not just tell their story, but their authentic version of their story. All too often, we have other people trying to tell our story for us, but no one better can tell it like you tell it, you know.
Exactly.
And so when I lived there, I worked in government access, but one of the crowning jewels of my career was working at Black Entertainment Television. I worked at BET for about 8 or 9 years before I moved to Lakeland for family. That's just plain and simple. I did not have a lot of family there. I had family here and I wanted to be around family. And so moving here, matriculating through education, working in the field of video production and multimedia gave me a solid foundation. And so when I left the school system, the charter school system, I went back to what I was familiar with. And that's where Well Done Events, multimedia productions came into play. And we began to look at ways to support Well Done Events. And how could we capture what was happening in our community? So we would show up at community events with our videography, with our photography, and of course with our photo booth, which was one of the first things that got us an entry into, because it was just fun, but it captured moments that people would cherish for a lifetime. While doing that, I began to get connected with many in the community, those that were involved with community engagement, with neighborhoods, and through that connecting, you know, I think I can say with the certainty, without hesitation, and I know you would agree with me 100%, relationships are the current currency in our current community. Relationships, connections that allow you to network and take advantage of those opportunities that are available that maybe you did not know, but someone let you know what was going on. And I will give the same back to you, Ms. Rolle. I knew about you and knew about some of the amazing things you were doing. Oh, she has such great energy. Oh, she's a go-getter. She's a team player. She's a team builder. She's a dream maker. And so I knew we were destined to come into connection with each other. And so I submitted a proposal in 2018 to the City of Lakeland's Office of Economic Development. And when you think about community redevelopment, it's around building viable, sustainable communities, particularly in areas that have traditionally been blighted. And so what it's about is raising up the economic viability and development in areas that have many businesses, but oftentimes need a little bit of lift. And so what happens at wells? Water begins to saturate, and then that begins to turn. If you look at a well, needless to say, and I know you talked about back in your hometown, the ground around the well was typically very green and vibrant.
Yes.
If you take that concept and apply it to what God gave me for the well, gave me and Mario, and again, hats off to him. He showed us that you can create a community of those who are able to help build community. And I mean that word community is the key word. And so that's what we began to do. One drop at a time, one relationship at a time, one connection at a time. And needless to say, no, it is not easy, especially when you're dealing with maybe some of the hardest to serve, maybe some of those that may not have had access. It was always amazing to me when I was in my principalship that people would say, well, how come your staff is so diverse? Well, people gravitate towards those that are familiar to them.
Exactly. Yes.
In directions where they see familiarity. And that applies across the board. And so we were able to receive that opportunity to submit a proposal to the CRA. That proposal was approved to create a space that was poised with helping to build community through training, education, for a diverse platform, from small business to entrepreneurs to startups to nonprofits. The Well is a for-profit, and that's what CRAs typically work with. However,
Right. Okay.
we believe that everybody has a seat at the table. I'm a firm
I believe
believer that everyone has a seat at the table and everybody needs to eat.
everybody. But you said a key thing. There's a seat at the table for everyone.
Yes.
There is room around the well for everyone. There's a but. You know a but is coming, people. But you got to come to the well,
Oh, for
right?
sure.
So you have to come to the well. And if we see this, this is a literal place that you can come to. You
Correct.
can, if you're in Lakeland, connect with us. If you're not in Lakeland, the website is here. I'll show it really quickly. Just connect with Dr. Stone
Yes.
and
Yes.
Mario
Yes.
Stone because you still can do something in your community.
And
She's
that's the
laying out.
key. Absolutely. And not to cut you off, but I just want to jump in and say this real quick.
Yeah,
Our
go
four
ahead.
key values are connect, collaborate, create, and celebrate. And there really is a method to that. Once you connect with other individuals, then you
Mhm.
create an opportunity to collaborate. And what is
Right,
collaboration? It's simply coming together, everybody bringing what they have. And once that
right.
begins to manifest, you have the ability to create jobs, create dreams, create
Yes.
opportunities, create all of those things. And of course, the celebration thereof wraps that space around it. And people often say, well, the well is a physical space. Absolutely. And I think that that is a part of the beauty in it. But let's
Yeah,
be open to the idea that just as water travels, water is
exactly.
one of those mediums that you cannot stop from
Exactly.
infiltrating. You can have the smallest crack, but water is
Mhm.
able to burst through it.
It's
And
gonna
so
move. It's
I
gonna
look
move.
at it, Mario and I in particular, we look at it as that, yes, the well is a space, it's a platform, it's a conduit, it is a bridge, but it takes collaboration. And that's what we've been able to do with you. And we are so thankful that God is putting people in our path that understand that it's not going to be the work of one, it's going to be the
Right.
work of many. And
Yeah.
and we tell people all the time, the well is bigger than we are. The well is not Sally and Mario. The well is, what do you have to bring and put into the well? And when
Yeah.
you put yours in and I put mine in and we begin to dip out of that well, then we're able to bring resources and that's what the expo is about.
And
I have
that's
to say,
community.
absolutely.
Community.
That's the definition of community.
Yes, definitely community. So I hope you're taking notes. And if you watch this show some years later, because these things are out there, I promise you that in 2024, this is when we're recording this, no matter where you live in the world, you can connect with somebody with like-minded people. There
Yes,
is a
yes.
phone number. There's a presence on social media. The well has a presence on social media. There's Zoom. There is a way for you to connect, collaborate, create, and celebrate with the well in Lakeland. So don't feel like, oh, I'm not in Lakeland. You can still connect. And I pray that you're taking notes. Now, this is a story. Dr. Stone, what are some key ingredients? Because you've shared this backstory. Thank you, by the way. I didn't know that. 2018, you submit this proposal, and
Correct.
now 2024, thriving business. I was at the grand opening, by the way, which was legit. I danced my shoes off. So
And
now for
you
the
do it
note,
so well.
I did well. Listen, I cut the rug. I could
Oh,
still
yeah.
remember. What are some key ingredients? Let's say there are people on here, and I know we invited the general public, but I handpicked some people I know were community minded. They're
Yeah.
looking to do not a office shared space, but something with local government. They have ideas. Some of them I know. What are some key ingredients that we should have, things we should do if we want to work with local government? Because
That's a
you can't
great.
just show up. You can't
Yep.
just show up and go, I have an idea and it's a great idea, or I'm cute. What are some key ingredients to move the vision forward, like you, to work with local
Absolutely.
government?
Absolutely. And I think that one of the main ingredients is awareness. I think sometimes
Awareness.
We have the concept, we have the idea, but we are not fully aware of the opportunity that exists. The
Okay.
community redevelopment, or CRAs, are in every city. You may not even be aware that whatever your city is, this organization that falls under economic development was created to help build viable communities. And so,
Great.
what that looks like is first understanding what the strategic plan is for your community. For example, in Lakeland, the two key priorities are affordable housing and economic development. Those are
Okay.
two areas that, when you look at the dollars that are being invested or being allocated and utilized, you are going to find that that is what is going to be the primary source. So you got to follow the money, follow the
Figure it
money
out.
to the concept. And when you think about affordable housing, what does that look like? That looks like building up communities that not only increase property value, but also bring people into Lakeland, and then they spend their dollars in Lakeland. And also
Okay.
with economic development, how can we continue to bring, more businesses to the table? Well, one of the essential ingredients that you can do is to connect with places like the Well. And there are several. We're talking about the Well today, but many business owners are looking to connect or provide their support and services. As a coach, Paulette, you have been able to help people really begin to unpack what it is they want to do. Sometimes we
Right.
have an idea, we have a goal, but we're not quite sure how to move it from our brain to the concept table.
Right.
And
Right.
so
Yeah.
trying to do that on your own is kind of trying to be your own dentist. If that
Right.
is not your forte, then you seek out those individuals that can help get you there. I think that's one of the biggest things. You can bake the best cookies in the world, but if you don't
Yeah.
have a marketing team behind you or promotions team behind you, your cookies are going to be known to probably you and a few people in your circle. But
It'll just be great cookies. That's
yeah,
it. It's
just be
great
great.
cookies in your house.
Exactly. And think it not strange how, when you look at some of the best marketing plans that are out there, and I'm not gonna, call any names, but we know some of the most popular ones, they are top of mind. They come to your mind. So for us, the concept of the Well automatically brought people to the understanding that it's a gathering place. And then people
Right.
would say, well, what do you do there? Well, you gather up and then you begin to do the work. And community work is not an easy work. It really isn't. But it is a rewarding work. It is a work that gives you continuous impact in the community. And impact is not always in terms of dollars. Impact is in terms of concepts like social justice, or looking at the unhoused, or the looking
Mm.
at those that are in poverty. And so economic development is taking all of those pieces of the puzzle and fitting them together so that you can create a more vibrant community where everybody is represented.
Everybody. Everybody. If you're taking notes, this is what she said a lot. I hope you're taking notes. But she said, in order to work with local government, basically two things. They're focusing on affordable housing, correct me, doctor, if I'm wrong,
That's
and
right.
economic development. So those were
Correct.
my two key takeaways, right? If you want to. And you want to make sure that you have your dreams out of your head on paper, right? Because I'm sure that there was a banking process,
Oh yeah,
the
for
banks
sure. And,
involved, the
and
government involved, and they
absolutely.
don't just take they don't like, I have an idea. They don't take cuteness. I like to use the word cuteness. I don't know why, but it's my word of the year. They don't take cuteness, guys. You need to have a business plan. You need to have, I encourage mentors because I think mentors are golden.
Mentors
We
are
go to
golden.
football games.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we go to football games, and the winners have the best coach.
That's right.
Basketball games, the winners have the best coach. Why don't we have business coaches?
Exactly.
And I'm
I think
sure
a
there's some
part of that.
business coaches at the Well. You know what, real quick? I know there's some business listed. I don't know if you're allowed to promote them, but I know that you have businesses that actually have their homes at the
Inside
well,
the well,
as
for
well
sure.
as people. Yeah, tell us a
And
little bit
let me
about
just
the daily
make this
operation.
absolutely. And I love to promote the businesses that are make the well their home as members. But
Okay.
let me just say this real quick. You said something that was so vitally important. There are so many business ideas and concepts that are just, filling the ecosystem, but no place to sit. And many times it's because you don't have a formal plan in place. You
Ah,
must have a plan. And more specifically, as you've already shared, a business plan. A business
mhm.
plan is not, well, I just want to do this. A business plan is a well constructed, organized plan that talks about what you are doing and how you're going to do it. And it
Exactly.
even talks about the advantages and disadvantages. And we're familiar with, SWOTs, strength, weaknesses, all of those things that come into play when you are looking at how to coach someone along the path that they're trying to go. We have to remember that you have to have a plan. And one of the first things our coach told us is that if you don't have a business plan, there's no point in you moving forward. And a
Not at
business
all.
plan does not have to be a difficult, hard task, but it takes someone sitting down and thinking through all of those pieces. Because what you'll find is what I thought would be the right direction may not necessarily be that. So
Not at
the
all.
businesses inside the well really add value to what it is that we do. We are currently have two law firms that are located in the well, Brooks Law Group and Osborne and Francis Law Group as well. We have ALPI, Agriculture Labor Program, which helps those who are looking to move into a career. It helps them with training and certifications. Women's Resource Center is another one of our partners, and also
Great.
Alpha Bright Learning Center. Now, Alpha Bright Learning Center with Ms. Cheryl Lovett is a franchise daycare. However, she
Oh,
has an office where she is able to get the work done. And so you would think, why would you need an office if you actually have a physical location? Because she understands that business work is more than when you are on the job. There is so much happening behind the scenes. And I tell people,
right.
we have a physical building, but I bring the well home with me every day. I take the well with me everywhere I go. It is with
Right.
me in the morning, it's saying how you feel, how did you sleep last night? It is a constant part of my day. And oftentimes, Mario's beside me and the well is in the middle. That is a
Right.
part of
Right. Right.
your life.
Always.
And I know you understand what I mean when I say that.
I do. I do. And that is a great segue. Mario is an amazing, he's hard worker at the
Yes,
well.
he
I
is.
don't know his title. It seems like Mario does so much. But talking about Mario, it's a great segue into what this topic you gave me earlier this year, married to the business. So how
Married
do
to the
you and your
business.
hubby, Mario, how do you create this great working relationship? Live together, married, and you work together every day, you get along, there's always a smile. Let's talk to that. Let's talk to that.
Well, well, well. It actually is a great work. I mean, it has to start first and foremost with love God, love
Amen.
yourself, love each other. God emanates from the very core of who we are. And,
Mhm.
Mario and I came together spiritually before we ever went into a business together. So that is the
There you
foundation, the very
there you
essence of who we are. And I will tell you, it does work. We are two very driven, very passionate individuals, but
go.
we are very different. And it is true when the Bible says that. Well, I don't think the Bible says that, but you often hear opposites do attract.
The tracks. Yes.
And that's good because I am the compliment for him, and he is the compliment for me. He does
Mhm.
not like to be out front and sometimes I got to push him there. And you know, he also knows a lot about what my goal and what my, you know, passion is, and he allows me. I should tell people, Mario, the way I describe him is Mario lets me jump and just go for everything I can grab my hands on, and he's kind of there holding my ankle so I don't fall. So he's just like standing like, she's gonna get tired after a while. But I'm, you know, I can. He's kind of like a safety net for me, because I can
Oh,
just go. And sometimes they say, okay, hold on, but I don't. I think everybody uniquely have to figure out what works for them. And
okay.
but I do believe that if you put God in the middle, that everything else
Mm,
can work out. And it is a heavy lift. You know,
that's the
sometimes, you
key.
know, it's he and I, and we look at each other and we go, what in the world do we get ourselves in? And then there are other times when we see things like the expo come together, and we see you doing your
Yes.
presentation. And sometimes I probably for about a week, I'll confess, you know, Paula, about a week after the expo, something would
Mhm.
happen and we look at each other and go, dun, da, da, da. So we, absolutely, it's amazing
Oh.
how when you connect like-minded individuals, there
Right,
is
right.
no limit to what you're able to do. And I
Okay.
think that that is just the tip of the iceberg for Mario and I. And I'm just believing God that he is the author and finisher of our faith.
Amen. That is so wonderful. Thank you, Mario. If you can hear us, thank you. We cannot end this, Dr. Sallie Stone, without sharing a bit about the expo. It's coming up because from I think I got a survey in my box today, email. I did not check it yet. But let's talk a little bit about where you're moving with
Absolutely.
this. Is it I-4 corridor? Don't let me
Right.
say it
So
wrong.
the I-4
Share about
corridor.
what's happening next year.
For sure, the I-4 corridor East-West collab, that was intentional because we understand that business is fluid. And so if you think about from where Lakeland positionally is in the
Mhm.
Central Florida area or in the heart of our community, you are a
Yeah,
short distance from Central Florida, which is the Orlando side, and you're a
yeah,
short distance from Tampa Bay, which is the Tampa
yep.
Bay side. And so Lakeland is really a hub. It's kind of like you got to go through Lakeland to get here and go through you need to go through Lakeland to get where you're trying to go. And
I
so
love it.
the
Love it.
expo came together as an opportunity to bring to the community, and we call it the Black Business Expo. But certainly we did not intend for it to be designated for only one group of people. What we were striving to do and to show is that we have to be intentional about how we move forward in the
Right.
African American community as it relates to business. We know that there
Okay.
are disparities. We know that there are
Right.
barriers. We know that there's a lack of capital. We know that African American women are probably the lowest on the
Pain.
scale when it comes to dollar from
For sure.
$1. In fact,
For
I
sure.
heard an interesting fact, and I'll just share this real quick, that if you look at where a man would be in terms of salary in
Mhm.
January of 2024, for example, it will
Mhm.
take the average woman, particularly Black women or African American women, July to earn that same dollar.
Well, from so 7 months, six. You're saying
Correct.
7 months to
To
earn
earn
that.
the same dollar. So there is a
That-
lot of disparity, which means there's a lot of work. There's a lot of ground to cover. But I'm certain that there is enough potential. And I like what you said in talking about your target audience. It's not that you are targeting one specific audience. You are
Mhm.
looking at how you can extend the reach to those that need
Yes,
support. And I think that's
of
the
course.
key. But we can't forget, and I won't forget, that the elephant in the room is that there are some disparities when it comes to access to
Yes.
resources. Not
Good.
not not talent, but access to resources. And so that's
Resources.
what the
That's
expo is about, is informing, providing opportunity to share, across
Mhm.
multiple we had banks, we had
We did.
financial advisors, we had
Yes.
vendors, whether they were clothing vendors, we had financial support groups, we had
Yes.
solar company businesses. It was such
Mhm.
an amazing come together. And I will
Yes, it
confess that I
was.
sat in the back over by Mario, who was running the audio in the
Right?
beginning of the time. And we
I
just
said, right?
looked at how this was unfolding. Your presentation was
Yes.
magnificent, and many others that just took
Mhm.
command of the stage and was like, it just flowed like water. And we
It
were so
was,
godly proud of it. And so we want to continue that same energy, that same, vibe. We want to continue to come together. So the expo was not a one and done. It was actually the beginning. And so the survey that you
yes.
received was collecting information, because data is everything. And I say that from the true form of an educator. You have to study the data. You have to look at
Right.
what the needs are, assess those needs, and then make formative decisions about how you're going to move forward. And so we're going to
Right.
take that feedback and we're going to apply it to the same Black Business Expo I-4 Corridor East West Collab in 2025. But before we get there, we're going to come together and we're going to continue to meet quarterly. The next one is probably
Okay.
going to be in September sometime at the Well. And it's just a call to action for businesses across the stratosphere that want to be engaged. And I'm so excited about all the aspects, but one in particular I'm excited about is the pitch program that we're working on. And I'm super
Yes.
excited that you agreed. And, I cannot thank you enough, even, Paulette, because you said, what can I do? And I'm like, oh, she's saying, what can she do? I said, well, do this, do this, do this. She's like, bam, 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 knocked it out the park. What else can I do? And so this is what we need. We need people who are willing to come to the table and say, I'm not doing this for Sallie or for Mario. I'm doing this for the good of the community. And that's what
Yes.
we are doing. So the pitch program that we're working on, even giving people an opportunity to receive coaching and mentoring and sponsorship
Yes.
from those who are, the experts in the field like yourself. So there are so many aspects. The legacy bus tour that was sponsored by New Life Ministries, the Western
Mhm.
Hoedown, get down
I
in
heard that was fun.
that was so much fun. Everybody came out in their Western wear. And then the Black Business Expo on Saturday. And then we wound it up with the jazz brunch on Sunday, which was absolutely inspirational. So it was a great weekend. We're going to do it again. But we're adding some things based on feedback that we've received. And we
Mhm.
want more people to be engaged. What can you bring to the table? What is it? Someone gave me a great idea about inventors, those who
Oh, okay.
have invented or want to be an inventor. How do I get a
Oh,
patent? What can I do
it's a
to make
whole
sure
different
that my
level.
skills are copyrighted
Yeah.
and trademarked,
Yeah.
and that I can, hold on to that? You need the trademark. Dun, da, da, da.
No, that's not mine.
I
I
know,
wish I could. I
but
wish
it's
I
very
could.
effective.
But nobody does it like me. That's what I know.
Nobody,
So,
nobody.
so, but it's not mine originally. So, what I'm hearing you say that the Black Business Expo I-4 corridor collaboration is for every
Yes,
ethnicity. It's for every type of
yes,
business. So come on in, guys. Connect with her. So the information is on the screen, the phone number and the website. You
correct.
can connect because this is July. This is like the end of July. Today is
Yeah,
already the 18th. And before you know it, it'll be January. Before you know it.
exactly.
And since it was, when did you have it this year? Was it May
It was
or
the
June?
first weekend in June, and we've already booked the Spring Hill Suites, and it'll be a little different. A lot of the vendor
So will
showcase,
it be in
the
June? Will it be in
presentation,
June
it's
2025?
June 7, 8. It's June 6, 7, and 8. It was June 7, 8, 9. So it will be
Okay.
June 6, 7, 8 this year. The a
Okay.
lot of the vendor piece will be at the Well, because sometimes you may not be able to move out as much as you want when you're in some spaces, but we will be doing what we call the the CAP, the Community Achievement Awards Program. It's called the
Okay.
CAP, because many businesses are feathered in the cap of most communities. And so what
Yes,
we will be
yes,
doing is recognizing businesses that have made a substantial impact in the community. So we will
I
open
love
up
it.
those nominations in January,
I love
and
it.
we will have a gala event, a black tie affair at the Spring
Ooh,
Hill
I love
Suites. We've already booked it. So you will
it.
have an opportunity to come and dress up and have a great time honoring many of those businesses and that are part of our community. I just want to give an example too of two
Yeah,
individuals that were instrumental at the expo. Miss Alicia Martin, she is the Vice President of Development for Suncoast Bank, and Miss
yes,
Evelise Gonzalez, who has a leadership role at TD Bank. And
yeah,
both of them are women that are not African American, but they are women who are in leadership roles, and they are
yes,
striving to help expand the reach for women, which is my
yes.
heartbeat, as well as for those
And
who are
to get money.
absolutely. So, as you said, it is a gathering of the community, and the community is very diverse. It is not just,
Okay.
one specific entity or group.
So let me address Christine says, will it be open to the public? Christine, yes.
Yep.
So this expo in June, we're not going to remember the date. I promise you. You'll probably tomorrow
First
go, what
weekend in
date is that
June.
again?
Yeah.
Yeah, so just remember June 2025, but more importantly, get on the mailing list for the well. This is how you stay connected. Follow the well on social media. So if you do that, you'll be able to see the postings when they start marketing. You'll be able to know. I want to share about the pitch really quickly because that was
Yes, yes,
impressive to me.
yes.
I remember being a part of pitches back in Tampa, SVP pitches, and how important it was. And I'm going to cut to the chase. I'm interested in it because of the money, point blank, period. That's my interest. Why? I remember being in pitches. I remember winning. It might have been $1,000, but it went so far for a small program. So I love when pitches, when you have the opportunity, listen here, y'all. If you have a business,
Break it down, Roll.
and I'm just saying, you have this amazing idea. It's in your head. You put it on paper, and you know that you know that you know it's a great idea. And if only your grandma was living, she would be your angel investor. She would give you seed money, but nobody else other than your grandma would give you the money. That's okay. That's when you start. You connect with the well. You connect with people like Dr. Sallie because the pitch is where you get to present. Bring your best, bring
Right.
your A game because there's competition. And that's
Absolutely.
where the money's at. That's where angel investors, we're gonna comb the community for grants and for
Yes.
money.
Yes.
And if you have a great idea and you can pitch it where they're banks and they're like legitimate organization that would buy your idea and your concept, this is where you get free money. This is not even a grant. So I'm leaning in to tell you, learn how to get free money. Now, this is my area of
Oh
expertise.
yeah, you
Find
can talk
what money
about it.
is.
You can stay right
Come to
there.
the table, people. If people are giving away free money in June, you have September, August, September, October, November. You have all this time to get your stuff together, get your A game, get a mentor. In fact, I heard that there's going to be mentors a part of this pitch. So get the education. It's okay if you don't know how to do it now. We got almost a year to get you right.
And
But when
you
come
gave the
June,
best.
you got to come to the table, though.
You
You
have
got
to
to
come to
connect
the
with them.
table. Absolutely. And you gave the best promo that could ever be done. I mean, that was a Super Bowl minute promo you just did right there.
Woo!
You not just want to come to the table, you have to come to the table and work with those who are subject matter experts, who are
Yes,
practitioners in the field, people like
exactly.
yourself that can help work. And we are going to create the culture, create the atmosphere for you to be able to achieve that. All of the different ones, I can call them all by name, but I don't want to forget anybody. But everyone there, one of the ones that comes to my mind, one of my sponsors and one of my mentors, Wayman Jordan with Primerica, has been such an instrumental mentor for me. And
He's
seeing
on this
him
call. He's
present.
on the show right now. He's
Oh,
on
okay.
here. Hi,
But
Wayman.
seeing him present at the expo was so very empowering to hear that.
Yes.
And then those opportunities lead to other opportunities where now you
Yes.
get to connect and you begin to collaborate and you begin to
Mhm.
roll out. Those are things that are very organic. They are not things that you can, force feed. You just create the platform and it begins
Right.
to take shape.
Yes, but they got to show up. You have to
You
come
have to.
to the well. You have to come to the table. And there's more. I've learned this. I've had a conversation actually just today with somebody who thought they were losing. And I said,
Mm.
no, it's not a losing game. It's a fix it and make it better. Because
Oh,
sometimes we
love
think we
that.
know, right? And that's all it is, like, oh, I'm losing. And I know it hurts for people to tell us, well, this is okay. This
Right.
is good. But are we in the game to be good? Come on, man.
Yeah,
Y'all know we're trying to be the best version of ourselves. So I said
absolutely.
to her, this is not a loss. This is for you to fix it and make it better, because when you make it better, and that's not even your goal is to go from better to best, because you
Absolutely.
need to be the best version of yourself. But you know where it starts? Connecting with somebody who knows what you know already, who've walked the path. Because you could fumble around all day long. And I've heard, I think Mike Murdoch says, no, I don't know who said the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and
Yeah,
expecting a different result.
right.
Somebody else says that. But Mike Murdoch says, in order to get what you haven't, to get what you don't have, you have to do what you haven't done. I
Done.
remember that much. So guess what? If you're good, you haven't gotten great yet. So
Yeah,
connect with it.
exactly. And
Come
great will
to
come.
the table and
Yes,
connect with the people
yes.
who've done this,
And
the expert, so that you can
I'll
be
tell
great.
you, Paulette, that is kind of the impetus behind my mantra, and I've had it for a while. When I started the mantra, I will succeed because the fire inside me burns brighter than the fires that surrounded me. That
Mm.
started when I left the education, and it was scary. I
Okay.
didn't know. There are many days, and there are days now that I'm going, man, this is a huge push and it's difficult, and that's not to mention all the other things that's happening in life that you have to deal with. But what I
Mhm.
have come to realize is that that passion that is on the inside of you will
Right.
consume any other barriers that try to
Mhm.
overtake you. Why? Because when you are passionate, you're going to keep pushing no matter what. You're going to get knocked
That's
down and you're going to get back up. You're going to get
right.
pushed aside and you're going to get back in line. You're going to be, very determined, and it's not
Mhm.
always going to be fun. But the
Right.
end result, when you see the impact, when I look at the impact, when I look at how you've been able to, and I heard your story at the last event that was at the well that you presented, and you talked about your story. I just sat there in awe. People don't know what you have been through. And what people don't know what we have been through, but we are
Exactly.
have to be willing to share that. You've got to be able to tell someone that it didn't feel good when I got rejected, when I was told no, when I got
Mhm.
slammed, when, I applied for a loan, thought I had all of my little stuff together, and it came back with a big no, one time, two times, three times. But you put it in again and you keep moving. And the
Keep
fourth
moving.
time, it was a yes. And that's a true fact.
There you go. We got to keep moving. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're at the just about the end of our segment. So, I need everyone. Please remember, you want to connect with the well. You want to collaborate with the well and people in your community. Just come to the table. Come, show up, show up, show up. See what we're eating. See what's being cooked. Create and celebrate. Let's celebrate each other's successes. And in the celebration, we hope that those who are not where we are yet, those who may not have their babies in their hands or babies in their belly, I'm talking about businesses, men.
Come on.
This is a metaphor. So for those
Yes.
who might not have birthed their child yet, or it's just there, maybe they see the celebration and they get hope. They're like, if Sallie can do it, I can do it. Let me just hang on, right? If
Absolutely.
Paulette can do it, I can do it. Whoever else, you
Absolutely.
put your name in this blank. And
Yes.
maybe the celebration that we have would give them hope to continue, take one more
One more
step,
step.
go one more day until they see the birth, until they see their dream come to
Hmm.
fruition. That's
I
what the
love it.
celebration is.
I
So
love it.
we cannot skip, we can't just connect and collaborate and create and never celebrate our wins. Me, I'm gonna celebrate every minute I have, and I celebrate at the beach. Ta-da!
I love
Just
it.
say
Listen,
it.
Paulette, when
We
you were
have
saying
this.
that, listen to this analogy. I told you my first degree is journalism, so I love words. And as you were giving that analogy, it came to me. You know what? You're a midwife. I'm a midwife. The well is
Okay.
a hospital where you go give birth to that dream, but you need a
Yes.
midwife
Yes.
to help you push and to help you realize that what you are birthing is something that
Yes.
is amazing. There's something that's
It
going to
is.
change the world, change the, the community, change the climate
Yes.
around you. That's what our businesses
That's
are. They're our babies.
that. Yes, you are. So connect. You have midwives, somebody here to hold your hand. So come connect and come collaborate, celebrate, create and celebrate. We will celebrate you. I want to thank you so much, Dr. Stone, Mario in the background. We cannot not mention you because, like, I believe the two are one. Those of you who have businesses at the well, thank you. Because of you, it keeps going. If you have event, remember this is also an event space. So let's continue to connect. If you like the content on my channel, let's roll with it. Please like, please share, and subscribe. Subscribe so you know. In fact, I had a film. Oh, I need to shout out to Dion because I think the campus at the well. We also have filmmaking at the Yes,
Yes.
Dion, sorry. We have filmmaking at the well coming up. There's going to be a camp to teach our West Central Florida students how to create
Oh,
movies.
it's
Now
going to be
that's legit.
amazing.
That's what's up. We're not being left behind. Atlanta,
And we
Hollywood,
met
and
him
New
at the
York are
well,
not.
at the
It's at
expo.
the well. So
He
shout out to
presented at the
Dion.
expo. Yeah.
And yes, exactly. So this young filmmaker, she DM'd me today and she goes, "How do I know about your podcast in advance? I follow you, but I don't see them, blah, blah, blah." And I said, "Well, you have to connect. You have to connect. You have to subscribe to my channel, and that's when I post." I'm saying that to say, if you want to know what's going on in Lakeland and with the expo and all that she's doing, subscribe. Get on the mailing list,
Right.
follow them on social media. And for me too, like, subscribe, share this content. It's free for everybody. Remember, further in the video, halfway through, we talked about the some key ingredients if you'd like to work with local government. For those of you who just hopped on, she gave key ingredients of what it takes to work with municipalities, right? I'm not going to try to repeat them or I'll shame myself. Listen to the video. Listen to the video. Dr. Sallie, this has been so informative, very rich. You've added value. I'm so excited to have you here. I'm sure, God's willing, that I'll have you on the podcast
Oh, yeah.
again. Maybe
Yeah.
you and Mario, because we need the community to know more of what we're doing. We're in this together. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are new here, my name is the one and only Paulette Rolle-Alesnik. This is the Roll With It show. Please subscribe. It was a pleasure having you here. We're out of time, but you can still ask questions by connecting with Dr. Sallie at the well.